Pieter Coetze will be the first South African in action in the pool this evening at 38 minutes past 8 o'clock. Then Tatiana Smith and Kaylene Corbett will take to the blocks in the women's 200-meter breaststroke final at 11 minutes past 9. Joining us now from the pool is Karien Jonckheere. A very good evening to you. As a South African, are you somewhat feeling nervous?
Hi, Kaylene. Yes, I hate to admit it, but I get very nervous before races. My hands are shaking a bit. I don't know what I would do if I was the swimmer myself or her parents or someone like that. They must be beside themselves at this point.
And Tatjana has spoken quite a bit about the fact that she's had her husband present, but also her parents. If you go back just 3 years, she had to engage with them via television screen because of the COVID games in Tokyo.
Yes, I think that's made such a difference for her having them here. Tatjana's said herself she's a real homebody, and so that's made a massive difference for her, just having that support system here. Obviously, she's got married in the last 3 years to Joel Smith, who's Siya Kolisi's brother-in-law. Apparently, they've all been staying, well, Joel and Tatjana's parents have been staying at Siya's place here in Paris. But yeah, that has made all the difference.
Oh, what happened last night after that semi-final? Tatjana actually goes into her main event as the second fastest qualifier. What happened in the mix zone?
Yes, it's funny. I think we all are so used to Tatjana being out in front that her finishing second was quite a shock to everybody. We were wondering what was going on. She was unfazed, like completely unfazed. She was all smiles, saying she was so happy with that race. She was just, happy to have someone next to her racing her. And she said that pushes her to be better. While we were standing waiting to speak to her, her coach, Rocco Maring, came into the media zone to try and get her out as quickly as possible. He was concerned she wasn't warming down soon enough after her race. He looked quite concerned. We know that she has struggled a little bit with a groin injury, so I don't know if that was his concern. She doesn't seem to have been plagued by it here in Paris so far, but tonight will be her 6th swim in just a few days, so it'll really be put to the test tonight.
When will we see Chad de Clos in action?
So he's in action tomorrow morning in the 100-meter butterfly. He just qualified for the one event, so it'll be him and Matt Sates in action. It'll be interesting to see what kind of form he's in. He's obviously changed his training base to Germany recently to train with Dirk Lange. He did pick up a bit of an injury coming into these games. You never know with Chad. He's always enthusiastic, always excited to dive in, and this time at his 4th Olympics. But we'll see what he can do in the morning.
And then we had the men's golf starting earlier today. The highest placed South African there, Eric van Rooyen, in the men's field, lying currently 6th, of 4 shots behind the leader of Japan, Hideki Matsuyama, who shot an 8-under round in the very first round. How's it looking when it comes to our golfing prospects?
Yes, golf is one of the sports you never really know. It's hard to predict a champion in something like golf. Somebody can just have a great few days and they're right in there. Eric did especially well today. He just hit a double bogey on the last hole, which kind of sank him down a few places. So hopefully things go better for him and Christian Bezuidenhout tomorrow.
And track and field, we'll see our athletes finally getting onto the track tomorrow.
Yes, it's the first week of the Olympics is always a big focus on swimming, and then we start switching to athletics, which is very exciting. We've got Prudence Sekgodiso going in the heats of the 800 meters tomorrow. She's had a phenomenal season, and she's suddenly run herself into medal contention. She's going to have to run really fast and be able to get through each of the rounds, which she hasn't had to do at a major championship yet. So it'll be a big test for her, but exciting to see her in action. We've also got 2 guys going in the 1500-meter heat. Ryan Pahlele and Tsepo Chite. And then we've got Kyle Bluchnout in the shot put qualifying. He finished 6th in the final in Tokyo 3 years ago. So he's a real prospect. And then, of course, the 10,000 meter final, no heats in that race. It just goes straight to a final. And we've got Adrian Wildschut going in that one. He's also, the last few years have been phenomenal for him. He seems to run a South African record every time he gets on the track. So he'll be one to look out for.
At these Olympic Games, they're doing something a little bit different with the repechauges, which gives the athletes somewhat of a second chance of making the semi-finals.
Yes, it's a completely different format. In athletics, unlike in swimming, it's not based on your time, whether you get through to the next round or not. In swimming, it's all about the timings and who finishes in the top 16 time-wise to get into the semi-finals. With athletics, it's all based on position. So usually in the heats, it's the top 3 that go through. Now what they're doing is giving athletes another chance, a second chance to qualify. So they'll have the heats, and then the top athletes in each heat go through. And now they're going to have a repechage round where all those who didn't get automatic qualification places get to compete in those repechage rounds and hopefully book their place in the semi-final that way around. So we won't have the fastest losers anymore like we had before. It'll be all based on those repechage rounds.
Karien Jonckheere, a very good evening to you.